today topic of my discussion is foreign exchange market, or we can say forex market. Forex market is a short form of foreign exchange market. So it is a place basically where a foreign money are brought and sold. It is an institutional arrangement. It is kind of an institution in which buying and selling of foreign currencies are done. So exporters sell the foreign currencies in forex market and importers buy them. So today we are going to discuss basically what is forex market, what are their various characteristics, how they function, what is the structure of forex market, who are the major participants, what type of transactions was there, and what are the various factors which are influencing our foreign exchange rate. So to begin with a meaning, foreign exchange market is the place where a foreign money are brought and sold. It is an institutional arrangement for buying and selling of a foreign currency. Exporters sell the foreign currencies and importers buy them. So foreign exchange market is just a part of a money market in the financial centers. So it is a place where the foreign money are brought and sold. The buyer and the seller of a claim on a foreign money and the intermediaries together constitute a foreign exchange market. If I'm saying a foreign market is a very small market, that is not true. It is not restricted to any given area of a country or a geographical area. We can say a foreign market is a market for a national currency basically. So it is dealt in anywhere in world. So by sitting in our country, we can deal in dollars also. So it is not limited to certain geographical area. It is spread over worldwide, as the financial center of a world are united in the single market. There is a wide variety of dealers in a foreign exchange market. The most important among them are a bank. So bank are a major source of foreign exchange currencies. So bank dealing in foreign exchange have a branches with a substantial branches in a different country. Though their branches and correspondents, the services of a bank usually called as an exchange bank. So these banks are usually called as an exchange bank, which are dealing with our foreign currencies. So now, what are the characteristics? Starting with the electronic market, as I told you, the banks are the major participants of this market. So all the system or all the working done by the banks was in the electronic form. Now, as with the advent of technology, as the technology is upgraded to that much level, now we need not to be physically present and somewhere. By sitting at our home, we are able to deal in the different countries. So in the same way, our foreign exchange market is also an electronic market, and it is a geographical dispersal. Geographical dispersal means it is not limited to one country or a one place. It is dealing in the national currency. So it is spread over a worldwide. It is not restricted to a certain geographical area. Transfer of purchasing power. In layman language, purchasing power means money. So by the definition, it is clear in the foreign exchange market, foreign currencies can be exchanged between two different persons, between the two different residents, resident of a countries, or between any institutional. So there is a transfer of a purchasing power. Intermediaries, as I told in the definition, there was a certain intermediaries, like banks are the intermediaries, which we called as exchange bank. We are not directly dealing with a person of the another country. Here we need an intermediary or a middleman who deals on the behalf of us. So provision of a credit through a letter of credit. Letter of credit is type of a guarantee which a banks provide. Whenever any exporter or any importer want to do transaction in the foreign currency, the letter of credit is the foremost requirement for them. The letter of credit is basically a guarantee. If someone doesn't able to pay your money, that banks who provide the guarantee on the letter of credit will provide you money, and after then that was a bank responsibility how to get money from that person. Then is a minimization of a risk. So in foreign exchange market, all the things are regulated under regulation authorities. So the risk or the chances of a risk is minimized. Like in the banks, like in the case of a banks, the letter of credit is there. There is certain institution who are providing guarantee for your transactions. So these types of thing basically minimize the chances of risk. Now, the next thing is the functions of forex market or foreign exchange market. Basically, to transfer finance purchasing power from one nation to another, or such transfer is affected though a foreign bills or a remittance made through a telegraphic transfers. Telegraphic transfer, this is the transfer function. Now, when we are transferring something from one country to another, that is a function of a foreign exchange market. Or in this, the transfer is in a form of any foreign bills. We can do remittance or we can do any telegraphic transfer. So this is a transfer function of the foreign exchange market. The another function is to provide credit for an international trade. If someone wants to do an international trade, if someone wants to export or import, the foreign exchange market provide credit for them. That function is regarded as a credit function. And the third function is to make provision for hedging facilities. That is to facilitate buying and selling spot or forward foreign exchanges. Spot or forward are the contracts which are made between the person who was doing transaction in these types of market. The forward contracts are you are doing contract at a present time of a future period. So these are the things which help to hedge the risk. Means, for example, if today is the price of some product is rupees 100, you buy that thing at a price of rupees 100 and in future that price was rises up to 150. Now the contract was done with 100 rupees, so you need not to pay that 50 rupees extra for them. That are the things which hedge the risk. So the foreign exchange market also able to provide a hedging function. So we are explaining these one by one, starting with the transfer function. So the transfer function is the primary or a basic function of the foreign exchange market. Basically deal with the conversion of one currency to another. That is to accomplish transfer of purchasing power between the two countries. This transfer of purchasing power is effected through a variety of credit instruments such as bank draft, foreign bills, any telegraphic transfer. All these things are covered under the transfer function. Now the second function is credit function. As I explained, it is another function to provide a credit, both international and national level, to promote the foreign trade. So when a foreign bills of exchange are used for the international payment, a credit for about 3 months till their maturity is required is provided by foreign exchange market. So in this way, this market help exporters or importer to do a foreign exchange or to do an international trade on credit. And the next function is the third most important function, that is a hedging function. Basically, it hedges the foreign exchange risk. Hedging means avoidance of foreign exchange risk. If in the layman language, it is just avoidance of a risk. In the free exchange, when the exchange rate, that is the price of one currency in terms of another currency changes, there may be a gain or the loss to the party concerned. Under this condition, a person or a firm undertakes a great exchange risk if there are huge amount of a net claim or a net liabilities which are to be met in the foreign money. So these three are the most important functions of a foreign exchange. Now, next we are talking about the structure of foreign exchange market. As I told you, foreign exchange market is not limited to a certain geographical area. It is spread over the wide varieties of countries or a different nation. Every nation has their foreign exchange market. So all the nation together make the foreign exchange market as a single unit. Now, if I'm talking about the structure of foreign exchange market, basically it constitutes the central bank, commercial banks, brokers, exporters, importers, immigrants, investors, as well as tourists. These bank buys the currency from the broker and sell it to the buyer. And there was a pyramid form in which the structure was working. So at the top of a pyramid, there is a central level. So basically the structure of foreign exchange market was divided into two parts, retail market and wholesale market. So in retail market, there was a bank and the money changes. Money changes are basically a broker or we can say currency, checks or a bank note. In case of a wholesale market, there is the interbank. Interbank means transaction within the banks, bank account and the deposit and the central bank. Now, if I'm explaining the structure of foreign exchange market, at the top, if we imagine the pyramid, At the top of the pyramid, there is a central bank. The central bank is the apex institute which deals all the foreign. The Central Bank of India is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. After the central bank, the second layer is of a brokers. These are the intermediaries who help a normal person to deal with a foreign currencies. Now, if being a person, I don't know what are the rules and regulations, how to deal in the foreign currency, and that brokers are the intermediaries which help us to do the exchange or to do the dealing with the international market. After brokers, the third stage is commercial bank. As we say earlier, the commercial banks are very important because they are also act as a middleman. They are the institution with whom we interact. We as a people do not go directly to RBI for the transaction. We just go to our commercial banks if we want certain foreign exchange or if we want to do any trade in the foreign exchange. So commercial banks are very important. And the last is exporters, importers, are tourists, investors, any normal person who wants to invest. So these comprises a structure. So basically a structure of a foreign exchange market was comprises of 4 stages. At the topmost layer, there is a central bank. After then, the brokers who act as a middleman. Then is a commercial banks fixed institute with whom the broker deals, as well as the individual or exporter or importer these deals. And at last, the normal person who was there. So these are explained in the major participants. Now, the pyramid includes the structure like central bank, foreign exchange brokers, then the commercial bank and the retail clients. These are also the major participants. So as I explained you, these form a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, as the central bank is the most important, that is at the top. After then, there is a foreign exchange broker. Then there is a commercial bank, and at the last stage, that is the retail clients. The retail clients can be any person, whether they are exporter, importer, tourist, investor, any person can be retail client who wants to deal in the foreign trade. Now, the next thing is foreign exchange transactions. Now, foreign exchange transactions are basically an agreement between the two parties to exchange one currency for other at an agreed exchange rate on an agreed date. It is also provide protection against the unfavorable foreign exchange rates. In all the transaction, basically in foreign exchange market, derivatives are very important. Derivatives are that instruments who help in hedging or who help in avoiding the foreign exchange risk. So if I'm talking about foreign exchange transaction, it is a contract or an agreement between the two parties for exchange of currency for one at the agreed exchange rate or at an agreed date. Now, next is the nature of foreign exchange transaction. Of course, the first thing is hedging to avoid the loss. Foreign exchange market is there to help the investor to hedge their loss. Then is the arbitrage to purchase the currency of two or more country. Arbitrage is also the process which was done in a foreign exchange market. It is that we can gain advantage of two market by purchase shares or a stock from a one market at a less price and sell it to the another market at a high price. So in this way, the arbitrage can take advantage of the different rates prevailing in the two markets. So in case of a foreign exchange, the two markets was of a two countries also. Then is a speculation, that is a price less, purchase high. Speculation is a sort of a gambling. You want an immediate profit, means you want to invest in certain thing and the prices of that product rises, and that is a thing which a speculator do. He want to pay less and sell the things at a high price. Now there are different kinds of a transaction which are prevailing in the foreign exchange market. Very first is a spot transaction. A spot transaction is when the buyer and seller of a different currencies settle their payment within the 2 days of the deals. The spot, by spot means on the spot transactions. So spot transactions in the layman language means the transaction which was generally settled in the 2 days. It is the fastest way of exchange of currency. Here the currency are exchanged over the 2-day period, which means no contract is signed between these countries. The exchange rate at which the current currencies are exchanged is basically called as a spot exchange rate. So by spot, we mean that it is a price in which It is a transaction in which we are done are all the dealings or all the transaction on the spot or within the 2 days of time. The second is a forward transaction. The forward transaction is a future transaction. By forward, we mean we are doing something in future. That we are doing a contract or we are doing an agreement today, but actual execution of that agreement was done in the future time. So forward transaction is a future transaction where the buyer and seller enter into the agreement of sale and purchase of a currency after 90 days of a deal fixed at exchange rate on a definite day or a definite date in the future. The rate at which the deal was done is called as a foreign exchange rate, and the market in which the deal for sale and purchase was done is called as a forward market. Then is a future transaction. It is also similar to forward transaction. Future means something which we done in the future time. So this is also same as a forward transaction, but there is a certain difference. The certain difference is the future transactions are standardized. They are done through exchanges. That is a normal stock exchange of our country. Like in India, we have two stock exchange. One is a Bombay Stock Exchange, other is National Stock Exchange. So transaction made in a future contract differ from the transaction on the following grounds. Like the forward contract can be customized on the client request, as there is no physical contract signed, so it can be customized according to the client request. But in case of a future contract, they are standardized. The date, the size of a contract, they are predetermined and they cannot be changed in future. The future contract can be only traded on an organized exchange, while a forward contract can be traded anywhere depending upon the convenience of a client. No margin is required in case of a forward contract, while the margin are required for all the participants. In the initial margin is kept as a collateral so as to establish a future position. So these are the basic difference how the forward contracts are different from the future contracts. Another major transaction is swap transaction. When we say swap this thing, that means we are exchange something. The swap transaction involves simultaneously borrowing or lending of two different currencies between the two investors. Here one investor borrows the currency and lend other currency to the second investor. So the obligation to repay the currency is used as a collateral. Collateral means that is security. We are paying some secondary sources, or we are paying some mortgage or a pledge that we are going to repay the currency, and the amount is repaid at a forward rate. The swap contracts allow the investor to utilize the fund in the currency held by him to pay off the obligation denominated in the different currencies without suffering a foreign exchange risk. All these transactions help to avoid the risk. We cannot avoid the risk, but we can reduce the risk to the certain level. And the last is an option transaction. The future exchange option give an investor right to buy but not obligation to exchange the. So in option transaction, there are two types of option. One is call option and another is put option. If I'm saying about call option means we are giving right to the investor but not the obligation to exchange the currency. In both the cases, so the option to buy the currency is called as a call option, whereas the option to sell the currency is called as a put option. Now there are some settlement date in the foreign exchange. Settlement date is a securities industry term describing the date on which trade settles. So by the name it depicts settlement date. That is a date on which the trade settled. That is the actual day on which the transfer of cash is done, and that is usually a few days after the trade was done. So the number of days between the trade days and the settlement days and the convention in the market, it was traded. For example, when settling a share transaction on the London Stock Exchange, this is set as date plus 2 business days. Date plus 2 business days means if the transaction is done today, so then today is your, for example, let us assume today is 25th, then your settlement date is 25th plus 2 business days, that is 27th. So that is your settlement date. Now next is a spot transaction. Here the transaction take place on T plus 2 basis. T plus 2 basis means in the spot exchange rate, settlement usually take 2 working days. This is something which I told earlier also, that spot transaction is on the spot transaction. it is done only on the 2 working days. Ready on cash, ready or a cash transaction. Basically, these are a ready or a cash transactions. Tomorrow, transaction in these type of a contract, settlement of underlying is to be